How are you guys doing? Today I want to talk about student loans. So stay tuned. My name is Jay and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector. Now I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. I've done it all from skip tracing to collecting to management, and I've owned 2 debt collection agencies. For the past 8 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions regarding debt and credit, and now I want to be that person for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. Let's go. If you haven't had the time, be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel as it is growing. Thank you guys, those of you who have subscribed and have liked millions of videos. Still offering a free pay to delete letter. So if you're interested in that, down in the description below, it'll explain how you can get that as well. So, student loan debt. 2017-18. Between 2017 to 2019, for the most part, I started on the weekends driving for Lyft and Uber. I did it for extra money. I used the money to invest in business as well as pay bills, extra bills that we had. One of the things that I loved about driving for Lyft and Uber is the mere fact that I get to meet people that normally I would not meet in a normal setting or situation, right? I drove a 2007 Honda Odyssey, so it was a van, an 8-passenger van. And so a lot of times I would get, large parties of people, going to party, people coming from out of town, people who lived here, going to clubs, whatever the circumstance is. I would get a lot of people. But one of the group of people that I've always really loved was, you can always tell, like a business person. So I would always start at very early in the morning, 5 o'clock or whatnot. And typically I would catch somebody who wanted an XL, a big vehicle, and they would be coming from Escondido down to the San Diego airport, which is about a 30 to 45 minute drive. The reason why I like those drives is specifically whenever I got someone in the car who, I'm a talkative person. So if they were talkative, then I got a lot of information with regards to business and finance and what people thought. I'll never forget the time that I picked up a guy who, back in that time, this was probably like in 2017, when he asked me what I did, I told him, I owned a debt collection agency, that whole situation. He's one of the first people put on my radar as far as owning a credit repair company. He was just saying that, he believed that I would be good in that field, and he didn't understand why I didn't do credit repair. I told him, obviously I cleaned up friends and family, like this video states, but he didn't understand why I didn't start a business. Nevertheless, 4 years later, I did start a credit repair business. So if you want any information with regards to credit and building your credit, email me at askadebtcollector@bearrecovery.com. But in this conversation with regards to this guy, one of the things he stated, because he was a real estate guy, as well as he was in stocks. And typically, you don't find people who do both or who believe both. Typically they're either in the real estate heavy or they're in the stock market heavy. But this guy was into both. He diversified. And I asked him, do you believe that we'll have another, crisis? Do you believe that there'll be a correction in the homes? What do you believe is going to happen? And he said that, a lot of times people talk about the housing industry, obviously, when you have to fall back in 2008. Secondly, he talked about, people talk about the stock market crashing and so forth. He said one of the things people aren't looking at is the student loan crisis. And I asked him, I was like, student loan crisis, what do you mean? He goes, more and more Americans are borrowing money to go to college, right? College, the prices for semesters or quarters are going up every single year. And he said what's happening is these kids are getting all this debt. A lot of them aren't finishing college, and the ones who are finishing college are getting their bachelor's degrees, but a lot of times they're in degrees that they're not using in life. And so they graduate from college, go out into the work life force with a degree that they can't use. It's not going to help them pay their bills. And what happens is they can't afford to pay their student loans, they default, And there are millions and millions of loans out there that have defaulted. And so that always stuck in my head. He said he believes that that is what's going to cause a big issue. Now let's fast forward. Obviously, at that time span, I had no idea we were going to have COVID-19. I had no idea we were going to even see anything like this in my lifetime. Wearing the mask, an airborne, virus that's taken out a lot of people. Whether you believe it's true or you don't believe it's true, that's what has transpired and what has happened, and we had to live by that situation. But right now, Education Secretary Miguel Cardona speaks during the daily briefing at the White House in Washington. The Biden administration on Friday, which was last week, issued what says will be the final extension to student loan moratorium that has allowed millions of Americans to pay off debt payments during the pandemic. Under this action, payments on federal student loans will remain paused through January 31st of 2022. Interest rates will remain at 0% during that period. The debt collection efforts will be suspended. Those measures have been in place since early in the pandemic, but were set to expire September 30th of this year. So they extended till the end of the year. No interest. Collection agencies cannot call you with regards to paying on student loans, and that's just a situation. But it always makes me think of what happened, because when that guy that I had in my for that Uber ride or Lyft ride, whatever one it was, explained to me the student loan situation, that crisis, and no one's talking about the trillions and trillions of dollars out there that is in credit, and people were defaulting and not paying. He didn't know that COVID-19 was going to hit. No one knew that COVID-19 was going to hit. And now they've been just pushing the payments back and back and back and back. Once everything gets back going, I'm not sure what's going to happen. The good thing is no one can call you and you're going to have 0% interest rates, just like with regards to tenants and mortgage forbearance. But eventually all these sanctions are going to stop. And all at one time, things are going to hit. And when things hit all at one time, a lot of times it's a catastrophe and things can get a little tough with regards to that. If you can afford to pay your student loans, I would say put the money aside. It's 0% interest right now. Eventually, after the end of January of 2022, they're saying this is the last and final stop on that. And obviously, with regards to that, payments are going to come back. They've talked about, obviously, forgiving some student loan debt. I've heard in some cases $10,000, some cases $20,000. The Biden administration, Biden states that he doesn't believe he has the authority to actually give student loan forgiveness. But we will find out. With all that is happening and everything that's transpiring, it is a very nervousing time. People trying to find work, people trying to get stuff going to college, paying all this money for these degrees, to find out, obviously, once you graduate with some of the degrees, it's not going to help you as far as life goes, and you default and you're not able to pay. So that is the current situation with regards to the student loan. Will there be a crisis? I have no idea. If you think there'll be a crisis, put it down in the comment section and give your reason why. Now, if you have any questions about credit or debt, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. And as always, you be great.